Welcome back. So today was an uneventful day for Bitcoin and crypto. And these days, that's a good thing. Bitcoin is still holding right around 85,000, which is fantastic. All the alts are still holding at the same levels as this morning. That's fantastic. However, we got some good news. Trump is looking for a replacement for Fed Chair Powell. He may be on his way out. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about all the bullish stuff that's still happening in this space right now. Yeah, a lot of bullish things. From a macro perspective, you guys know, I'm not going to talk too much about it in this video, but you guys know we're still, in this roller coaster ride, up and down, right? We are seeing some effects, some good things. For example, Nvidia is going to invest $500 billion. $500 billion. That's $500 billion to build AI supercomputers in the US, right? So we are seeing effects. Apple said the same thing. TSMC has said the same thing. Others are saying the same thing. So in a way, it's working. We're getting all these tech giants coming back, just coming to the US, right? So we are seeing some effects, but obviously this is going to take time for this to play out. But we are seeing some of this, right? So that's a good thing. Yeah, so that came out today. But this is what I was referring to just a minute ago. So this interview with Scott Besson, so this was actually revealed that they are actually looking for a replacement for Fed Chair Powell. Technically speaking, Trump does not have the authority to fire Fed Chair Powell, but I don't know. I don't know what they're planning. Maybe they're fed up. Waiting for him to start quantitative easing, waiting for him to cut the Fed fund rate, whatever it is that they're planning. In that interview, they said probably around fall time that they replace him. But yeah, that is happening. And Jerome Powell has said before, I don't really care what Trump wants to do. I'm staying. I'm not leaving. I'm not resigning. He has said that before. But, right now, he's just staying cautious and he's being open, right? We don't know what he's going to do. We got 1 month until the next FOMC meeting. I've said that. And the percentage is not good for a rate cut. Not until June. But this just came out today. And it seems like maybe Trump is sick of waiting. But you know what? For those of you guys watching, if you're sick of waiting for quantitative easing, you're sick of waiting for this to happen or rates to be cut or anything else, if you want to just opt out of everything, I think you know what to do. If you don't, well, the answer is Bitcoin. And that is why so many continue to load up and buy and DCA. MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet, they continue to load up. This morning I covered how MicroStrategy bought another 285 million. MetaPlanet bought 26 million. Does not chump change. Okay. That's just two companies. There are many more around the world that continue to load up. And it's not just public trade companies. Obviously, there are a lot of whales, but also retail, okay? All around. This is the reason why Bitcoin has found a footing and is slowly coming back up. There are definitely a lot of people that are sick of what's going on. They're sick of politics, sick of geopolitical tension, sick of macro stuff, right? What they want is stability. They want growth. They want life-changing wealth. That's what Bitcoin is going to do for them, right? here's the thing. Look at this chart. If you don't believe me, look at this. Nothing outperforms Bitcoin, even during the bad times. Even you could argue, you know, we have been down since January. For the last 3 months, it's looked bad. You look at this, hey, 1 year performance still outperforming S&P 500 by a lot. Maybe right now not outperforming gold in last year, but you go back 2 years, go back 3 years, right? And you keep going over the last 14 years, 7.2 million%. So with Bitcoin, yes, sometimes you have these like little periods where, yeah, it could go down due to all these external factors. But Bitcoin is one of those assets. The longer you hold, the more you make, because Bitcoin does not care about all these things that are happening. It's pure. It can't be controlled, can't be manipulated. And that's why so many have implemented Bitcoin strategy and so many are still holding on and DCAing, right? And so many are waiting for us to climb back to 90K, which is not that far off. We're around 85. We slowly have crept up. You know, just last week, we were in the high 70s, and then we went to low 80s. Now we're mid 80s pretty soon. As we climb higher, we could be right around $90,000 soon, right? And when that quantitative easing kicks in or global liquidity kicks in, right? Look at this. We got the Fed, we got ECB, we got the Bank of China, Bank of Japan, Bank of Europe, and all these other banks around the world that is ready to inject liquidity, and they are ready to inject liquidity. That's when things start skyrocketing for everything. Equities, tech, crypto, Bitcoin, right? Everything starts going up. The cycle is not over. It's taking a breather. It's certainly not over, right? So today's one of those days. Not a whole lot of volatility, and that's a good thing. But there's always great things happening behind the scenes. So all you have to do is stay positive. And if you look, there are always great things happening. Even this, like whale alerts, for example. You have $85 million leaving Binance to some unknown wallet. This is a whale transfer. This is some unknown whale that has just purchased $85 million of the Bitcoin and put it into his or her wallet. It's happening all the time, right? You just have to pay attention. All right, outside of Bitcoin, there are a couple other things I noticed since I am a basketball fan, you guys know that. I saw that Cleveland Cavaliers was leading the East for the first time in a long time, right? They're partnering up with Avalanche. They're introducing the Cavs rewards, okay? So that's pretty cool. A lot of you guys are basketball fans. If you can attend the games, this would be pretty cool, right? And it's built on Avalanche. Goes to show you, Avalanche, you know, they're doing a lot besides gaming, besides RWA. You know, they're into loyalty programs. They're into a lot of stuff. And then I also saw this. Water moves the Avalanche. Brings 20 trillion commodities market on chain. So Water, I'm not too familiar with them, but it seems like they are into commodities trading. And it's a huge market, a $20 trillion market. And this company is coming on board to Avalanche and creating their own L1. And it's absolutely huge, right? So that's happening. Again, going to show you, we got a lot of things happening. Outside of Bitcoin, we got a lot of major things happening, a lot of major companies coming aboard, right? So you can't judge things by price. You got to pay attention. A lot of great things happening. I also saw this, Solana, the very first spot Solana ETF. It's going live this week, but in Canada, not in the US. We're still waiting for the first spot ETF to launch in the US. It's going to happen. It's going to happen soon, but we'll see what happens after Canada. We saw the very first Bitcoin spot ETFs launch in Canada first and then in the US, right? So it's just a matter of time. And then we're going to get other ones, right? XRP and Doge and others. But right now, in case you're wondering, this is the highest sold to ETH daily close in history. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting indeed. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye-bye.